I recently got the Tourbox Neo after seeing a lot of different ads for it, and I thought I would give it a little test and do an unboxing together. So here is the actual box that you get. It's covered in plastic, but I have just taken it off. And upon opening the box, the first thing you will see is the quick start guide. Now, a little bit of a rundown of what the Tourbox Neo is. So the Tourbox Neo, when you're drawing on Photoshop or drawing on whatever tools that you use along with photo and video editing, you end up using a lot of different keys on your keyboard. So for example, using Control Shift, using Control D, Control T, I don't know, whatever different shortcuts you have used on your keyboard along with clicking different things with your mouse. But the Tourbox Neo is a console that takes all that away and puts it in the palm of your hand so you can use all the controls with your left hand or your right hand, depending on what hand you write with, I guess. But it's supposed to really simplify the whole process. And as soon as you plug it in, all you have to do is to install the software. So you can go to tourboxtech.com and you can download the latest application, then you can install it and set it up right away. It's really quick, and you can set as many different shortcuts as you want with the Neo. There are so many different shortcuts that I didn't even realize when I was first using it. It takes a little bit of time to get used to try and figure out where each thing is. But the great thing about this is that no matter what I click, so for example, right now I'm clicking the down button, the left button, it'll highlight the shortcut so you can see what it's set to. So when I click the right, it says that it's set as the brush tool. Now on my Huion tablet, the brush itself has a shortcut button, so if I click the top button on the Huion tablet, it will automatically be the brush. So I don't need the brush tool here, so I'm going to switch it to a different shortcut. And I don't remember all the different shortcuts, but I can start with the hand tool because that's one that I use pretty frequently when I'm drawing. There's also the undo and redo, which I already have on my Huion tablet itself. On the pen display, I can just click one of the buttons and it does undo, but not redo, so I just left them the same. And this is the interesting part because there's different shortcuts if you press two different buttons at the same time. I didn't realize that that was a thing until I was screen recording and I was like, oh my goodness, there's already the lasso tool, the fill tool, like all these different ones are already here. They already come set, like it already is programmed to do different things for you from the get-go. And I didn't realize that, so that's already pretty convenient and I will go back and set different controls. And pretty much it's hard to remember all the different shortcuts that Photoshop has. Like I don't remember all of them, I don't use all of them, but there are definitely some that are used most frequently by Photoshop users or by people that, you know, use different editing softwares or whatever you use. There's different shortcuts, and it's great that the Tourbox console has the some shortcuts already listed there that you can just select and program to your controller. So there you go. Upon opening or lifting up the other little section, you get to see the actual controller. It's packaged really tightly and I struggled to open this. So, I mean, hats off to them. But this is the second time recording it because, as you see, I had a little visitor. So the USB-C cable is pretty wrapped up nicely and it doesn't come undone the way it did in the video, but I had already taken it out. Then this part is the actual controller. It has a good weight to it and I love the sounds that it makes when you click it. Even the knob is wrapped nicely, so if you see here, it sounds really nice. You can kind of hear the way it sounds like a mouse itself. Now we get to the actual drawing part. For me on the first, I had been using it for a few days now and just wanted to do a little sketch to show you how I've been using it. It takes a lot of practice to not just do the command on my laptop. It's like I have to program my brain to not reach for the laptop every time I want to do a command and just keep my hand on the controller itself. I also found that I would just reach over to my Pen Display Tablet to just click on the button if the button was also there. So that's just an indicator that some of the controls or the shortcuts that I have on the controller itself might not be the best, because I just end up using the pen display to do the same thing, and it's supposed to be able to, help shorten that by giving you other tools that might not already be there. So that's just a note. But other than that, once I started to get used to it, it was actually pretty helpful. Now, I didn't use it that much for the sketch itself, because for the sketch, the only tools I technically really need are the brush tool, the eraser, the hand tool to move stuff around sometimes, as well as the flip tool if you want to flip your drawing to see if it looks okay, specifically for the eyes. But for me, I found that I wasn't really using it when I was sketching, and then when I started to paint, that's when I noticed that I was using it a lot, and that's when I really saw how quick it was and how helpful it was. So those are a few comments for that. Like you see here, I keep using the scroll on my pen display, but I have, like, one of the knobs does the same thing, so I need to change what it does, because it's redundant. I don't need to have both things doing the same thing. But I really do like the ability to have something else. So on my Huion tablet, I can change what that little thing does. So I can change the scroll to be in zoom in, zoom out, as well as, or I can just change the brush size. Anyways, here are the pros that I found as I was drawing. So some pros. It's really easy to use, quick to set up, and it's also really has a lot of different adjustable controls, and I love how you can program it to do pretty much anything. But some cons is that it's kind of pricey. For a starter, I would just start with the Elite. Or the Light, I don't know how to pronounce it, but start with that. Maybe don't get the really expensive Elite one or the Neo. Maybe start with the smaller one, but overall I think it was really good to use, really easy, and I would recommend it to anyone. I'm excited to keep using it as I draw and get used to it over the years. Thanks for watching, and please do subscribe, because it means a lot if you enjoy this type of content.